Partly to, I think cardinal to the fight, the trade war that we've come to know it as between President Trump and Xi Jinping, China, US, is intellectual property. And I think the biggest issue here is quantifying and tracking intellectual property as it is. Tell me, XBRL, how is this becoming a best practice? What does it cover that all the other predecessors were not?
Thank you very much. XBRL essentially is a digital reporting mechanism that allows entities to file their annual financial statements. It is a technology standard, much like what we have with accounting standards. So what we are doing at CIPC, we're moving away from reporting by PDF into digital reporting. And that applies to a subset of entities whose public interest score qualifies them for an audit or an independent review.
Talk to us a little bit about the shortcomings of the current system and what this new system will allow in terms of getting, I don't know, more accurate information, direct or more accurate financial statements. Talk to us about the advantages there.
Thank you for that. In fact, the challenge with PDF comes along with an analyst in the regulatory office trying to assess and evaluate the performance of a company, trying to pronounce on whether they've complied with the IFRS standards. So what we did, we built up rules into the taxonomy, which becomes used for development of a solution to assist with XBRL filing. So what that does, it is going to allow us to have comparability of financial information that would be, according to the years, or it will be in a specific sector. So when one company deals with another, they will also be able to, compare apples with apples, because without application of a standard, you will have companies naming their elements in their primary financial statements differently. So coming across that presents a hindrance for the regulator to do their job effectively.
Joey, this particular space has a lot of acronyms, CFA, IFRS, we could go on about CPA, and so many of these actually being floated around. When Ascuda 1, when we come to a cross-border trade, when Ascuda 1 was actually rolled out, then Ascuda 2, the cost of compliance and migrating on many of the systems was so immense for some of the countries that they were just like, let's stay with what we had. Give us a sense of the cost here of compliance and migrating from whatever you had before to the new system, and is it compulsory?
Yes, XBRL filing is compulsory from 1 July 2018, but that applies to, as I mentioned, medium to large entities. In terms of costs, what we have done at CIPC, we've made available a list of about 13 software service providers whose systems we have evaluated and are satisfied that they are complying with our minimum standards. So what we always encourage filers is to approach those software service providers who will, based on their experience, assist specific companies with the types of solutions that they have. One type of solution can be that at the end of preparation of financials, the company can insist on their financials having to be tagged only. However, some entities would want to incorporate XBRL across their financial systems internally, but that we see as more of a medium term. I'm sure that you can appreciate will come with a higher cost. But the one of complying with 1 July, for us, we believe if company can finalize its process and just get its financials tagged, that should come at a reasonable amount.
Joey, I may be far-reaching here, but is this system one of the ways we can prevent accounting disasters like we saw with Steinhoff, for example? Would the system be a way in which to curb that activity that we're seeing in corporate South Africa currently?
Yes, one of the reasons for introducing XBRL is because since the Act was promulgated, a lot of monitoring and oversight by CIPC was done basing its evaluation on PDF documents, which on its own limits the capacity of the regulator to play its oversight role. So when we receive XBRL data, it will come in a structured format, which means it's machine to machine. The analysis thereof is going to be coming through a business intelligence capability. So that means companies will no longer be able to reflect particular amounts in the one set of statements, and in another set presents other amounts. So the system will immediately pick up anomalies, issue a red flag to the company, but also to the regulator to say, this specific filing comes with a number of red flags. So we believe that the rules that we have built are going to assist in terms of throwing out the outliers and or some of the exceptions.
Brilliant.
Joey, finally, very briefly, this gives me a sense that maybe you might need more manpower to actually track all of this, because I'm going to quote you here. You do go on and say that this allows for CIPC to check that the information received is legitimate. And then I'm asking myself, okay, so if the red flags are actually drawn out, would that mean that these are actually passed on to maybe Ropi here, then she also goes through this? And is it actually creating a domino effect of more jobs to be created?
We believe that, especially for the software service providers, because they will be doing a lot of tagging with the specific entities. So yes, there will be benefit for both filers, software service providers, and the regulator. You can imagine companies wanting to conduct technical analysis. At the moment, if they have to do that on PDF documents, it becomes very difficult. So, but when we provide them structured data, it's easy for them to just run it through their systems and give them results.